Welcome to the Deep Dive. This is where we take materials you send us and, well, dive deep to see what insights we can pull out.
And today, it's something a bit different. We're looking at a piece of fiction, actually.
That's right. One of you shared an excerpt from what looks like a script. It's called Honey Boy Adventures 2, The S of It All.
Yeah, so no dense articles this time, just pure dialogue, character interactions. But our mission, it's still the same.
Absolutely. We're trying to figure out what's going on in this boy-verse. There's clearly some kind of crisis, right?
Definitely seems like it. And then this character, S-Man, shows up. We want to explore what this whole scenario might tell us about maybe creative burnout.
Or audience perception, the pressure to follow trends, that kind of thing.
Exactly. Even though it's fiction, there could be some really interesting reflections on real-world creative struggles.
Okay, let's get into it. The scene opens,
Yeah.
and it's pretty grim, honestly.
Yeah, it paints a picture. A deserted Comic-Con panel room.
Totally empty. Big canceled banner hanging there. Unsold merch everywhere.
You immediately get that sense of decline, don't you? Like their moment has passed.
For sure. It's such a strong visual. Really sets the stage for failure.
And how the Bois react to this.
Yeah.
It's quite telling.
Right. So, Honey Boy, he's scrambling. Wants to do a grayscale rebrand, make it gritty.
Like slapping a filter on is the answer.
Ah, yeah. And Batman Boy, he's just comparing it all to Gotham, super gloomy.
Well, true to character, I suppose. But it shows different coping mechanisms, right? Honey Boy's trying for a quick fix. Batman Boy's leaning into the despair.
Then you've got Inspector Potato Boy. His big worry,
What is it?
that they're not meme-worthy anymore.
Oh, wow. That really says something about where their priorities might be, huh? Tied to that online virality.
Totally. And Icy Boy is just, well, negative about everything. As usual, it sounds like.
It's radiating negativity.
Huh.
And Justin Boy.
His concern is his OnlyFans count.
Ah. So tying the persona back to, like, actual income, the practical pressures.
Exactly. It's this mix of creative despair and, real-world consequences, but then things shift.
All right, the big entrance.
Yeah. Green flare erupts. There's this booming voice.
Quite the contrast to the mood in the room.
Definitely. This figure emerges from the shadows. S-Man.
And he introduces himself, spelling it out, S for stability.
S for Sen.
And S for salvation. For the Boyverse. Grand claims.
And then Batman Boy recognizes him, says he's the old lettuce boy who's ascended.
Okay, that's unexpected. Adds a layer of the bizarre, doesn't it? This background character suddenly becoming this powerful figure.
Yeah, like a weird commentary on character development itself, maybe?
Could be. Or just, part of the absurdity. So why is he there? What's his motivation?
He's got a grievance. Apparently the Bois used his garden for some project.
Organic Battle Zone, wasn't it?
That's the one. And they didn't credit him, gave the sponsorship deal to someone called Beat Bay instead.
Seriously.
Yeah.
That's the origin story. A garden snub.
Seems like it. It sounds almost petty, but clearly it was enough to fuel this whole transformation into S-Man.
It does make you think, though. Sometimes it is those smaller feelings of being overlooked or uncredited that can really fester, especially in creative work.
True. And it turns out this S-Man, or lettuce boy back then, has a history of cleaning up their messes, particularly Justin Boys.
Oh, like what?
Well, there was a deepfake incident involving a Billie Eilish video, some disastrous crypto moisture NFTs.
Oh, dear. Crypto moisture.
Yep. And even some accidentally leaked DMs where S-Man was apparently tagged as at emotional support lettuce.
Emotional support lettuce. That's amazing. So he was the one quietly fixing things behind the scenes while they were, chasing clout?
Seems that way. Paints a picture of constant chaos and S-Man sort of running damage control.
Right. But he's not just there to reminisce about saving Justin Boy from NFT schemes. He has a diagnosis for their current problems.
Yeah, he lays it out pretty bluntly. He says they've become a negative symbol, that the audience actively dislikes them now.
Oof. That's harsh. Not just unpopular, but symbolic of something negative.
And he gives specific examples. Remember the musical episode?
Vaguely. Something about microaggressions.
In a haunted smoothie bar.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds like a concept.
He also mentions a strawman villain with a Wall Street neck tattoo. Suggests maybe their satire wasn't landing. Felt a bit, clumsy.
Or just easy, maybe? Lacking nuance? And what else?
The romanticization of the evil babies.
Ah, yes. The ones who robbed a candy bank and bit a police officer.
That's them. And Inspector Potato Boy apparently justified it as early-stage activism.
Wow. Okay, you can see how that might not sit well with everyone. Trying to be edgy, but maybe just missing the mark entirely.
But S-Man's main focus, it seems, is their latest obsession. This character, Man Boi.
Right, the artificially gritty reboot. What's his deal again?
Apparently, he just deadlifts heavy things and cries dramatically in silhouette.
Sounds profound.
And the Bois want to rebrand themselves around this. Their idea is Bois, final form.
Oh, boy. So S-Man sees this as them just chasing another trend, completely missing the point of his intervention.
Exactly. His core criticism boils down to, they threw out your audience chasing sensation.
Became self-congratulatory, chronically online, and allergic to plot. It's a pretty damning assessment.
It really is. Then comes this very visual moment. S-Man holds up a mirror.
And what happens?
The Bois literally recoil from their own reflection.
Whoa. So a forced moment of self-awareness, or maybe denial, that their reaction is key there.
Yeah, it's like they can't face what they've become. S-Man points out he's tried to help them before, highlighting this pattern of failure.
This cycle they seem stuck in.
And then he delivers the final message, the forgotten S. It's not just stability or sense.
It's story.
Exactly, the fundamental thing they've lost sight of in all the noise and trend chasing.
Head hits hard, doesn't it? Back to basics. Substance over sensation.
Then, poof, he vanishes, leaves behind glowing arugula.
Glowing arugula. Okay. Keeping it weird.
And Icy Boy just deadpans. We deserved the salad metaphor.
At least someone gets it, even if cynically. But does the message stick?
Doesn't seem like it. Justin Boy's immediate reaction is wanting to do a duet with Man Boy.
Seriously, after that whole speech, back to chasing the shiny new thing.
Instantly. And Batman Boy is apparently conflicted because S-Man insulted arugula, which he likes.
You can't make this stuff up. They really seem resistant to the actual message.
And then, to really hammer it home, the evil babies appear.
What are they doing?
Wearing S-Man was mid-t-shirts and chanting about clout and trends.
Oh, perfect. So the forces of shallow trendiness immediately dismiss the call for substance. It shows the environment they're stuck in.
Vicious cycle, like you said. The scene ends with a tagline for whatever comes next. Man Boy, the algorithm hungers.
Ominous. Fits the theme of chasing online relevance.
But wait, there's one final twist. Huge one.
Go on.
Man Boy, the gritty reboot guy they're now obsessed with.
Yeah.
It is S-Man. In disguise.
No way.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yep, and apparently in their universe, the Bois hate Man Boy because their whole thing is supposed to be Bois only.
Wow. Okay. So the help they desperately need, the salvation S-Man offered, is disguised as the very trend they're chasing. But they reject him because he doesn't fit their narrow definition of their group.
That seems to be it. The irony is just...
Wow. That adds such a fascinating layer. They're blind to the solution that's right in front of them, disguised as their latest obsession.
So wrapping this up, what does this whole scene tell us? This Honey Boy Adventures snippet seems to be a critique of, well, getting lost.
Yeah, lost in chasing trends, losing sight of actual storytelling, becoming resistant to genuine critique even when it's trying to help.
And you can definitely see parallels elsewhere, right? In any creative field, really, or even just like online culture generally.
Absolutely. That question of what gets prioritized, the fleeting sensation or the lasting substance, what's the essential S word that might be missing? Story, sincerity, substance.
Strategy, maybe. And that final twist, Man Boy being S-Man. What does that suggest?
It really makes you wonder about change, doesn't it? If the help you need looks like the trend you crave, but you reject it on principle, are you just doomed to repeat the cycle?
Are they capable of learning, or are they just stuck chasing the algorithm, blind to the the substance right under their noses?
It's a great final thought for you, the listener, to consider. When you consume content, what draws you in? Is it just the buzz, the trend, the sensation?
Or is there an underlying story, some real substance that actually sticks with you long after the hype fades, makes you think,